Welcome to the Philip Wiley Show. Take a look behind the curtain of professional hacking and hear compelling discussions with guests from diverse backgrounds who share a common curiosity and passion for challenges and their job. And now, here's your host, offensive security professional, educator, mentor, and author, Philip Wiley.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Stay Fearless Online, the new series on the Philip Wiley Show, powered by SquareX. Last guest we had on was Jeswin, and he was talking about how you can open emails without worrying about being hacked or tracked. And today we're with Shourya, and he's going to be discussing how to safely use URLs. So as if you didn't join the first episode, please go back and see that. It's a very important episode. But SquareX is a product that is an application and a browser plugin that keeps you safe while you're online. It takes a lot of the thinking out of it, because a lot of people that work in IT or cybersecurity, sometimes it can be difficult enough for us to stay safe. But with a product like this, it takes a lot of the thought out of it. This is ideal for anyone and really good to share with your parents, grandparents, or people that are not technical. This is like one of the best things that you could give them. If you do technical support with them and help them out, this is going to save you a lot of time. So I'm really interested to hear more from Shourya about the URL protection within SquareX. So thanks and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Philip. I'm really excited to be part of this today. And like you mentioned, malicious URL is something which is a huge problem for IT teams throughout the world. For example, let's say someone sends someone a link on email, right? I've talked with teams who often send these emails or these links to their IT team or the security team to actually check whether it's legit or not. And it often creates a huge problem because the productivity goes away. Mm-hmm. And it's always very difficult to know if a URL is malicious or not, because all the models that basically exist right now are completely probabilistic. You have to basically analyze the page, you have to maybe look at the URL, you have to look at so many details just to figure out if it's really malicious or not. So with SquareX, what we have is sort of a deterministic view. So we have this feature which is called disposable browser. It's like your own cloud browser, which allows you to open any suspicious website or link that you receive in whatever geographical location available inside the browser. So just to show this to you, let me just share my screen. So as you can see on my screen, I have an email with me. And in this particular email, there is a link present. Now, this link is a pretty new link and is actually one of the malicious links, which is basically a phishing page for Facebook. Now, if I have to access this, you can see, it's about some sponsorship. So, of course, as an employee, I would want to definitely access it as soon as possible. So with SquareX, what you can do is you don't really have to worry about opening this inside your browser or asking your IT team to really figure out if it's really malicious or not. What you can do is you can simply just right-click it, click on Open in SquareX, and select whatever geographical location you want. And within a few seconds, you can see that this page is basically open inside a disposable browser. So it's like your own cloud browser. And as you can see, when I opened this, I selected the geographical location as Singapore. So whatever websites are being accessed are getting access through our Singapore data center. And that way, the attacker also gets to see your request coming from a Singapore IP address. Similarly, I can also select any other country if I want. So this basically not just allows you to open a malicious URL, but also allows you to access it through a different geographical location. There are multiple ways to use this. Like I mentioned, you can just right click on a link and open it. This is something which is very convenient if you have the extension installed. But of course, if you are not comfortable with the extension, there is also always an option to use this via the web app. This feature is fully available in the web app as well. So if you open, let's say, the web app, you can simply go ahead and select the location that you want. Let's say I want to start something in, a US West, for example. So I'll just click on start, and it will just, within a matter of seconds, start a new browser inside my browser running from US. So it's available both in web app as well as in the extension. With the extension, of course, there is a better integration. So let's say you receive something on link, you don't really have to copy and then paste it, start a session, and do things like that. You can simply right click and open it. This disposable browser is completely disposable. So you can simply, click here, click on the cross button, and that particular session will basically get disposed of. So all the browsing history, all the cookies and everything is basically wiped out of this cloud session.
Very interesting. Could you show how that's done?
Yeah. So basically you just have to click on the extension, and whatever the running session is, like for example, let's say I have a Singapore session running up, right? So as you can see on screen, there's a small Chrome browser opening up here where I can actually go and browse anything I want, right? Now, if I want to dispose this off, I simply have to open the extension. I will see all the active countries here, and there is a cross button right next to it. Just by clicking on this, the disposition is done. So all your browsing is deleted, and you can go ahead and start a new session afresh with no history being retained from the previous session and no cookies being shared.
Very interesting.
So since it's a cloud browser, it also, keeps you away from browser fingerprinting, which is like another thing like a lot of people are nowadays using, especially for advertising.
Yeah, very interesting, because for the listeners, anytime you search for something and all of a sudden you're in Amazon and
Yes.
you're starting to see these ads for things that you found, if you don't want that to worry about tracking that, this is a good solution to that.
So like I mentioned, there are two ways to do this basically. One way is that you can do this via the extension. So let's say, you have this link here. You can just right click it, go to open in SquareX, choose your geographical location, and you can see, it basically opens up in a new tab within a matter of few seconds. And that particular phishing page is opening inside a disposable browser. Since this is being opened inside a cloud browser, nothing really can affect your computer because it is all being opened in a cloud session. Now, there are like I mentioned, other than extension, there is also another way, which is using the web app. So you can basically just go ahead and open the same thing on our web app, and this feature is available there. The only difference is that if you're using the extension, you have an option to have a deeper integration. You can just right click on links on your email and then open them in the disposable browser. But with the web app, you can simply go ahead, select the geographical location you want, click on start, and this will basically create a cloud session in a matter of seconds. And as you can see here, that it's a browser in browser. So inside your browser, you have a disposable browser with you. Here you can simply go ahead and browse whatever you want. And if you want like a more seamless experience, you can go down, click on the full screen and enter the full screen mode. That way you won't see like, a browser in browser thing. Now talking about disposing this session. So you can simply click on the extension, and whatever the active countries are will basically be visible. So you can just choose the cross button right next to them, and that will basically dispose the session off. And all your browsing history, all the cookies, everything will basically go away. And then you can go back and just start a new session if you want.
Very nice. Yeah, that's one of the things. This is just such an amazing tool. I was kind of playing around with it today. I'd got an email, or actually I got a message on Twitter. Someone had sent like a link. It was some kind of stalking site out of Russia, and it looks like an Instagram link. And if you go to click on it, it takes you to that. So I used the browser plugin and just right clicked it, and it opened it up, and I got to see the app, and it was an app running out of Russia, some kind of stalkerware or something. And it's pretty interesting because, even being a security professional, some of the things we try to do to stay safe, this makes it so much easier, because a lot of cases in the past, and one of the things I did as a test is I opened it, I copied the link and put it in URL scanner.io. and it come up and it didn't have any information about it. But from what it looked like in that session, it didn't look like it was safe. They just didn't have data on it. But at least that way, when these other methods people are using to try to protect themselves don't know yet, you're still safe.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, like we discussed initially, it's very difficult to know if a URL is malicious or not, because attackers are like coming up with new techniques. Recently, I came across a link which basically changes depending on what country you're accessing it in. So, even as a security professional, if I get a link, opening it up in different geographical location can help me analyze, how it actually looks in a different country.
Yeah, that's very interesting. It's kind of nice to have that feature of the product where you can switch what country you're coming from, so
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah. And especially there are different ways in which uh, these malicious URLs are being distributed. They are coming through messages, they're coming through emails, and just for the IT team, it becomes very difficult to cover all the aspects of how really that thing is. Even the Chrome browser itself has like a safe browsing feature through which it tries to identify if there is anything malicious. But all these are like I mentioned, very probabilistic models.
And then just the level of difficulty it is to use those options, because the average user usually isn't technical enough to use those features. And when you can use something like SquareX, it makes it so much easier, and you're better protected, not having to try to mess with the Chrome browser to try to make it secure. And and the thing about it is you've got all these different extensions you're using, different video
Yeah.
conferencing software that require you to change the security settings on top of keeping up with all that, much less, trying to keep up with your browser security can be pretty difficult.
Exactly. Having said that, inside the cloud browser, we also have some inbuilt extensions already installed. So, for example, we have the most popular one, uBlock Origin, which basically helps block all the ads and adwares. So if you're basically browsing anything inside the cloud browser, it's something which comes like out of the box.
Very
So
nice.
talking with, like, for example, let's say my family members and other people, they are often not aware about things like ad blockers, and
Mhm.
just doing it by default inside a cloud browser makes it pretty easy for them.
That's good. Yeah, it's nice. I know it's one of the things I'm definitely going to share with my relatives, because I have aunts and uncles that, I had someone tell me that one of my aunts said that she had a message from Ellen DeGeneres that wanted to give her $15,000. And sometimes people don't realize it. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But why worry about it when you've got something like this to protect you? And it's so many of the methods that people are trying to attack is either through emails or social media and online. It's just such a easy attack vector for these threat actors.
Exactly. And not just, threat actors. Some people might want to use it in the sense of anonymity, or, keeping themselves private as well. Because, when you're opening anything inside the cloud browser, your identity is not getting tagged in any way, because there is no cookie sharing that is happening from your computer to the cloud session. And there are no trackers which basically you get your IP address.
That's very nice. So anything else you'd like to discuss before we wrap up this episode?
No, I think that's pretty much it. It basically keeps you private. It allows you to open suspicious link, and it's pretty straightforward to use.
Yeah, I agree. I'm surprised how easy it was to use, because from time to time I'm getting people say, "Hey, check out our software," or whatever. And it takes a
Yeah,
while, but I was really surprised how easy it was to figure out without even really, looking at a demo or anything. So it's pretty self-explanatory and easy to set up. And for anyone listening, you can use this for free. So this is a really great resource. Usually your antivirus costs you money unless you're using the built-in antivirus within Microsoft, using Defender. But have something like this for free, and someone's security minded. I mean, the experience of your team and Vivek is pretty amazing. Some of the things you guys, all the security research experience and development you have is top notch.
yeah. I mean, it's great. It's great to work with Vivek and everyone at the team, and that's what our purpose is. Like, we want to make everything which is like super accessible and super easy to use.
Well, very good. And so, like I said, folks, you can, in the show notes, we'll have a link to where you can go to SquareX and download the browser extension. And make sure if you didn't see the first episode, go back and see that. And we'll have another episode coming soon. But in the meanwhile, don't wait till you get through all these episodes. Start using it. Share it with your friends. This time of year in parts of the world, they're getting ready to celebrate different holidays. And there's a lot of shopping going on online. Threat actors are going to use these as ways. It's a prime opportunity for the bad guys to attack people this time of year. So be protected and make sure your friends are protected with SquareX. So thanks again for joining me. It was great having you on this episode.
Thank you, Philip.
Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you for listening to The Philip Wiley Show. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. In the meantime, to learn more about Philip, go to thehackermaker.com and connect with him on LinkedIn and Twitter @Philip Wiley. Until next time.